Get ready for truth and transparency from an ocean of liberal tears. Welcome to the Blue Shark Show with your host, Mike Lang.
Citizens of Hood County, when you next see your county judge, Ron Massengale, your commissioner, Ron Cotton, and your other commissioner, Jack Wilson, they raised your taxes. Don't let them say that they did not, because they raised your taxes. Commissioner Eagle and Commissioner Andrews, thank you very much for voting against that proposed tax rate. You did a great job. You were totally fiscally responsible, and the citizens appreciate that. And what we don't appreciate is the county judge and Ron Cotton and Jack Wilson putting off this tax increase on the backs of the employees and the volunteer fire departments.
You know, it's interesting watching them play these games. Every year they say, well, we lowered your tax rate, even though the appraisals are through the roof. And then they say, well, it's not our fault your tax bill's going up. It's the appraisal district. They've been playing these games year after year, blaming the appraisal district, when the fact is every year they set the tax rate after the appraisals are set. B comes after A every time. That's the way the process rolls.
Yeah, it's funny to see this play out in court. You know, another thing that they talk about is the no new revenue rate, which is really kind of a misleading term. So if you don't see or understand how all this money is playing out, where it's going, it sounds like, oh, no new revenue rate. That's good for the taxpayers, right? But in actuality, we are getting new revenue.
The no new revenue rate increases the tax burden on your average household $70. That sounds like new revenue rate to me. I don't know about y'all.
That is new revenue rate. And then if you listen to Ron Cotton, you take 0.3% more, and now it's 77. It adds another $7. So now you're looking at 77. And all Ron and Jack can do is start to increase the budget, increase the budget. And Dave and it looks like Kevin are trying to kind of put a stop to it and say, look, we've got this CARES Act money, COVID money, we've got the rescue money, we've got almost $10 million that's been brought into the county, and they still want to raise our taxes.
I want to continue into the record vote. I've approved it a tax rate of 0.420345.
Need your vote, sir.
No, it's Eagle's vote.
I'm going to go no.
Okay, vote no. County judge votes yes.
So I forgot who voted, who did what?
Kevin, no. Cotton, yes. You, no. Myself, yes.
Thank you.
County judge, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it makes you wonder, where is all this money going?
And it was cool to see Dave come out and say, you know, you guys were raising the tax burden, but we could have saved the taxpayers 6 cents or maybe 4 cents if we wouldn't have done things like buy that RV, if we wouldn't have bought the new voting equipment, and some of this other stuff that's gone on in the last few months that, you know, that we didn't even need, but Ron, and Jack Wilson just continue to ramrod everything they can.
Last year, or actually the past few months, we bought a command vehicle, some call an RV, this year, and paid $200,000, spent some more money after that. I voted no on that. That could have gone to VFDs, volunteer fire departments, and it could have gone to employee raises. We bought voting equipment we didn't need this year. Paid over $600,000, and it's still counting, by the way. There's other incidental fees coming in, rolling in on that. I voted no on that. Could have gone to volunteer fire departments, and it could have gone to employee raises. We bought operational software, Tyler versus Net Data, that we really didn't need right now, and half the county didn't want. Paid over $1.2 million and counting. I voted no on that. That could have gone to volunteer fire departments, and that could have gone to employee raises. All in all, I have just stated to you, just starting, about $2 million worth of stuff we really need right now, which if you interpolate that into what the tax rate is, it figures up to be about 6 cents tax rate to cover that $2 million, which could have gone to volunteer fire departments and or employee raises.
So you've got Dave and Kevin fighting for the taxpayer and trying to be fiscally responsible after this $10+ million has come in to the county. And then you have Becky, the auditor, once again stepping up instead of giving the information to the citizens and the commissioner's court. Here she is talking about the state forms. She talks about the appraisal district and how they can't do anything about the appraisal district. Hey, that's fine. You know, she can blame it on the state. She can blame it on the appraisal district. Bottom line, the commissioners and the judge set the tax rate. It doesn't matter what your house is appraised at. They can set that tax rate, which Dave tried to do at the tax rate where it was a zero-sum balance. You still paid taxes, but you paid the same taxes you did last year.
So we voted on a proposed tax rate of 0.4203455, which is 0.3 more than the no new revenue rate. Last year we went 0.3 less. And what it's going to mean to the average taxpayer, according to their numbers, is $77, average taxpayer. And as I did last year, just for grins, I've gone in and calculated a number, tax number, that would have zero effect on the average taxpayer. So my proposed rate would be 3.389400 for this year. And I know that I know this is just to put the numbers out there and get it on the record. And that rate would roughly have this homeowners pay zero difference. They're still paying taxes, right? But they're going to not pay more.
And because of all the new growth, we still have new revenue here in Hood County.
Right. With all the new houses and all the people moving into here, they make up for that difference. So it really is, you're getting more revenue because you have more people paying taxes and you're not having to raise the rate at all.
And Becky, I think, speaking as the county auditor the way she was out of line, telling the commissioners, hey, y'all just need to go ahead and vote for this because it's going to happen anyway. That, to me, sounds like there could be some coordination, perhaps a walking quorum, between Judge Massengill, Jack Wilson, and Ron Cotton.
You will get more revenue. Every county in Texas will get more revenue, regardless of if they're the no new revenue rate, the voter approval rate. You will get more revenue. That's a fact. So this is something that you gentlemen should probably vote for because it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah, how does she know this is going to happen anyway?
Well, she knows the vote's going to happen anyway because she's spoken to all the commissioners and the judge, and she knows who's for it and who's against it.
And it's sad that we have 3 members of the commissioners' court that are for raising everybody's taxes.
And then we have Ron Cotton, who says, you know, enough of these political speeches. They sound great. Yeah, political speeches about being fiscally responsible.
It's great to get up and make political speeches, but we vetted this stuff before. All the stuff that Commissioner Eagle talked about, we vetted it here in court, opened all of it, letting you hear us why we're voting on the things that we voted on, and the court approved it.
And Ron Cotton goes on and says, hey, Dave, we've vetted all this stuff. You know, we vetted the van, the RV. We vetted all this. Well, Dave, like you said, voted against all that because it wasn't fiscally responsible at the time. And yes, you and Jack and the judge all voted for that to spend more money, and look what we have. We have a growing government because of you.
And part of being fiscally responsible is knowing what's a priority and what is not. Essential services, public safety, the sheriff's office, and the fire department are priorities. We do need to make sure that those men and women have everything they need to do the job and to help take care of the citizens. Things like a command RV are not priorities. That $200,000, just like Commissioner Eagle said, that $200,000 could have gone towards them. And instead, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Cotton, and Judge Massengill decided they would rather raise their taxes. You know, it's great to have more revenue if you're a business because that means you're producing something and providing a value to your customers. The government does not do that. The government doesn't produce anything. The only thing they do is take from everybody to provide stuff that they think they need. And when your priorities are out of whack the way that we see, it's, you know, dysfunctional.
Well, you see every commissioner up here. Dave is fiscally responsible. Kevin spoke up. He's fiscally responsible. we know where Ron Cotton stands. He would spend every bit of money we'd have and then some. Same with the judge. And, Jack, I don't think he spoke one word other than yes on the votes. And as my commissioner, I want you to step up and be fiscally responsible and explain at least why you're voting yes.
Well, and he ran on that as part of his platform, being fiscally responsible, but that's not what we're seeing with the voting record here.
I'm tired of seeing the lack of respect that Ron and now Jack have against Dave Eagle and the citizens. Dave is up there speaking, and the judge is rolling his eyes, and Cotton seems to be in a fight with Dave over these things, and he's saying, well, Dave Eagle says. Well, yes, Dave Eagle is fiscally responsible, so once again, just like the taxpayer-funded lobby issue, you're on the wrong side of this, Ron Cotton.
Yeah, Commissioner Cotton has been on the wrong side of the COVID shutdowns. He's on the wrong side of carving out his own golf course to be excluded from the shutdowns. He's on the wrong side of all kinds of stuff, and I'm really glad that he's got a couple challengers already.
Once again, we see the three commissioners voting for big government, increasing our taxes, not listening to the will of the people, and just doing their own thing regardless. It's time that we have more accountability. It's time that we get better representatives in there that are going to serve the people and listen to the people.
The thing that was hard for me to watch during this meeting was the constant shell games, misdirection, and smoke and mirrors that we see from Judge Massengill, Ron Cotton, and Jack Wilson. They say, well, it's a no new revenue rate. Really, they're increasing your taxes $70. Then they shift to say, oh, well, it's just another $7 on top of the $70 that we've already increased. It is constant smoke and mirrors, and then to put their own fiscal irresponsibility off on the employees, the volunteer fire department, the state, and the appraisal district it's really disingenuous.
Thank you to Commissioner Dave Eagle, and thank you to Commissioner Kevin Andrews for being fiscally responsible and doing what you said you would do for the taxpayers. That doesn't mean that, hey, we're not going to pay any taxes whatsoever. That means that they're there for the core functions of government, and they're going to make sure that the money is spent in that way. $10 million, taxpayer money still, and Ron and Jack blew through that like crazy, and they want to spend more of your hard-earned tax dollars. Dave Eagle and Kevin are point on. They want the employees taken care of. They want the fire department taken care of. They want the sheriff's department taken care of what they need. Not necessarily a wish list, but of what they need and what the citizens of Hood County can pay. Please remember those three people who voted once again to raise your taxes when they didn't need to be raised. Shark Show out.